From a fan standpoint, just the fill of the stadium, outside the tailgating, I know their buses were getting shaked all the way up the road coming to the stadium, and he had to throw up one of the excuses of the heat. That was an excuse for that game, of course, for Marcus. But no, in all seriousness, it was great. I mean, I think for me, back then it was there wasn't all the realignments and a lot of things happening with the different schools now that you see in college, and it just made it a great traditional experience for me as a player. And like I said, me and Chad, I think every time we talk, or if not every time we see each other, something will come up, maybe a photo we see and it rehashes a memory for us. So, for us being, from West Virginia and playing in Marshall, those things will last forever for us.
I'm really glad to see stability within both programs and having two great head coaches that are great leaders and athletic departments that have done what they needed to do to stabilize both programs. I think that's always most important, because you're dealing with student athletes, you're dealing with young men and women, and trying to affect them in a positive way where they can move forward with their lives, because one day the ball will stop spinning regardless of how long we think we can play, it will stop. And so those college experiences that I had far outweigh sometimes the NFL experiences, because the relationships that I've built with my teammates and coaches and with the university, that they still go on to this day.
Well, first of all, I think what I'd like to do here, first of all, is to kind of just give you a little bit of an idea as far as how this became reality. I felt silly, Mr. Justice. You commended me for it. All I did was come down to one of the greatest resorts in the world this past summer. I've been here probably 5 or 6 times, but came down this past summer and walked out there on that practice field to watch the New Orleans Saints do some practice, and I turned around and looked at this entire facility in this building and thought it was a fantastic idea to be able to do it. So I initially thought, maybe we could bring the team down for a week in July or August. Well, obviously the Saints are going to be occupying the facility during that time. So what we had started to do with West Virginia football in the spring practice is to start to get our team out across the state. Last year we took our team to Charleston, we took our team to Wheeling, and I really didn't know how it would go. Student athletes are busy. We can only occupy about 20 hours of their week, so I didn't know how they were going to be receptive to it. And what I found out was during spring practice, these kids, and they get out in the state of West Virginia, and they get to see different parts of one of the best states in the United States. They get to see some of the prettiest land in the United States, and they get to sit and talk to some of the best people in the United States. So they really liked it. So the next year we started talking about where do we need to go now, and there isn't a better place in all of West Virginia to be able to come spend some time than down here at the Greenbrier. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be able to do that. Obviously, you've done so much for the state of West Virginia in building one of the greatest facilities out there. So I said, well, it's a 3.5-hour drive. So if we're going to go all the way down there, we might as well spend 2 days. So we're going to come spend the whole weekend down here. It's going to be a great weekend for West Virginia University. There's a big fundraiser down here that weekend for WVU and the Cancer Center. We just hope to be able to add to it just a very small part to what we think is going to be just an outstanding weekend. So, I don't want to bore you as far as the actual team. I will say that we started our practice last night. We finished up with meetings last night about 10, 11 o'clock last night. Got them back up at 6 a.m. to do some meetings this morning. They're pretty eager about the 2015 season. We got about 45, 50 lettermen coming back. 10 of them are on defense, 8 of them are on offense. Got all the specialists back. So we have a very veteran, mature team that have now been in the Big 12 for going on 4 years. So they're familiar with the situation that we're at. And I think once we get down here, I think everybody's going to see that we're going to continue to show improvement, which I think we have over the course of the last 4 years in the Big 12. So once again, Mr. Justice, thank you for the opportunity to be able to do this. It's really awesome to be able to be a part of it. And I know that weekend's going to be great for not only WVU, but all the West Virginia fans as well. So thank you.